And what's important to understand is that this is derived from a Chinese worldview. The five-element thing that you see there is the way they kind of classify everything. And everything happened because of it. A similar thing, the ancient Greeks, the four humors, which lasts all the way to medieval times. Okay? And this is how it's all done. And what you have to understand is that this is a classification system. And while you can learn it in a traditional Chinese medicine model and paradigm, just because we call this fire, this water, and all that, doesn't mean it's so. You could call it strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, hit here, then here, and you get the same thing. Okay? So while it's difficult to know the names of the specific points and all that stuff, it is nice because it defines specific areas. In police work, they would tell you to strike lateral forearm. Well, you can strike lateral forearm, you can push lateral forearm, but it's not as nice as knowing that that's large intestine 10. That's what you want. Okay? So any paradigm, and indeed, from what I understand, the Spetsnaz, the Russian commandos, because they're heavily influenced by Asian arts, basically do the same thing, only they just go hit here, and then hit that. And it works.
Right.
Okay? So it's important, so even though we're going to get into all of this naming points and all this junk, that it doesn't necessarily have to follow. Okay? What's nice about it is much of what we do in terms of our martial arts, being Asian in origin, have their basis in this theory. Okay? And so things that make no sense when we have actually tried them, all of a sudden begin to make sense because they're actually being applied in ways that we don't think of. And it's not our fault. We're not just a bunch of stupid round eyes that could never figure anything out. It's because you were lied to, or things were hidden and not explained. Not entirely their fault, because they took this martial art and watered it down so that school kids could do it. So you were taught a lot of things that were watered down. This was because they were starving and they just needed something to sell to the Japanese, who, as part of their requirements to the Okinawans, because they regarded them as hillbillies, pretty much. They essentially said, let's see, Okinawan martial art, Satsuma clan takes over Okinawa in a week and a half. Probably not that good martial art. Okay? So how do they sell it to the Japanese? And the reason they're selling it is because they are starving. The Japanese regard them as hillbillies. This is just something we took over, and the hell with them and whatever. Sort of like we regard American Samoa. You know, like who thinks of it? And whatever's going on there. So what they do is they sell it to the Japanese by telling them, you know, you're a Japanese martial art, too hard, very good, but too hard. And this is simple. You teach the kids, make them strong. And then when they're nice and strong and grown up, they take those hard Japanese martial arts. So the Japanese go, yeah, okay, sounds good to me. But they can't have the kids killing themselves, so they water it down. They tell them to make a fist so that the thumb crosses two fingers, because that way when it hits something, it becomes flexible. They tell you to do spear hands, like bend this, so that when you hit something, it becomes like that. And what am I doing? That's a block. Oh, okay, what am I blocking? Something high. And Never in their wildest dreams do they think this is going to be some worldwide phenomenon. This is just, let's get it going, and we can make a few extra bucks, and this will be cool, and they'll respect us a little more, and all this kind of stuff.